Welcome to Same Pod, Different Cast. Each week we talk about a crazy story. I'm Mel Black.
And I'm Marie White. We are a couple of moms who like listening to tales of survival, humor, and mystery, but also be around our kiddos. Parental discretion is advised. When a dad took his sons to see their favorite baseball team, I don't think he knew how this day at the ballpark would impact them or the team. This is Jim Rice's story. On August 7th, 1982, Tom Kane, along with his sons Jonathan and Matthew, traveled from their New Hampshire home to Fenway Park in Boston. Their mission? To witness their cherished Red Sox in action. More specifically, Dave Stapleton, who was 4-year-old Jonathan's favorite player. They secured prime seats along the first baseline, offering a spectacular vantage point of the stadium's renowned green monster, which is an iconic 27-foot tall left field wall famous for denying home runs. Tom fondly recalled, "It was a seat that everybody would dream of when they had little kids. You wanted to get them close to the action. It was just ideal." The game unfolded as perfectly as they envisioned. The score was tied at 2-2 in the fourth inning when Dave Stapleton, Jonathan's beloved Red Sox player, stepped up to bat. On the mound for the Chicago White Sox was Richard Dotson. Stapleton found a pitch he liked, but his swing was a little late, sending a powerful line drive foul ball whistling into the stands. The ball moved so quickly that its trajectory was difficult to follow. And I honestly thought a lot about whenever I watch golf matches, which I may be weird because I like watching golf matches, but it's sometimes really hard to follow the ball because they're so small. But I can't even imagine how quickly a baseball would have to be moving to not be able to follow it.
True.
However, Tom Kane heard a loud thud, and for a fleeting moment he thought the foul ball had bounced off the Red Sox dugout wall. Then he heard the crowd scream, he saw the red blood, and he realized that that foul ball, traveling at over 100 miles per hour, hit his son Jonathan in the head.
What?
The roar of the crowd was suddenly piercing by a horrific and sickening sound that sent a ripple of unease through the stands. Among those who heard this was Jim Rice, the imposing Red Sox slugger whose presence on the field was a formidable, as he had a reputation for, one, privacy and a hot temper, especially with the press. But in that critical moment, the usual harsh exterior melted away. Jim was a demanding presence at 6'2", 205 pounds. He, an all-star outfielder renowned for his power at the plate and cannon of an arm, reacted with an instinct that transcended the game. Without a moment's hesitation, he bolted from the dugout, ran straight towards the commotion. He vaulted into the stands, cutting through stunned onlookers. What he found was a scene of terror. A young child, Jonathan, bleeding and clearly in distress. Jim exhibiting remarkable compassion that ran counter to his tough guy image, gently but swiftly scooped the injured boy into his arms and then hustled back towards the dugout, moving with an urgency.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this picture's insane. And I remember reading an article about from him talking about this, that he said he didn't even know what gender the kid was because the blood was just everywhere and like they were just screaming and he wasn't even really thinking about it, but he just picked him up and just ran. Inside the dugout, the Red Sox physician, Dr. Arthur Pappas, was immediately on hand. The scene was surreal, unfolding in less than a minute, a stark contrast to the usually even flow of the baseball game. Jonathan's condition, however, was gravely serious. Dr. Pappas quickly assessed the situation and recognized the severity of the injury, and he knew almost immediately that his skull was fractured and that urgent need for emergency surgical intervention to relieve the pressure on the child's brain was
Can
needed.
you can you imagine getting hit in the head with a hundred
No.
mile an hour baseball?
I mean, I've been hit by a truck before, and I can tell you that hurts, but I can't imagine just this, like, small thing. I mean, he probably didn't feel it, but I would think he wouldn't feel it, but I don't know. I would think your body is like your defense mechanism of your body would just block out the pain.
One would
But
hope.
yeah. Jonathan was rushed from Fenway to the hospital, where a team of surgeons immediately performed a life saving operation. 5 agonizing days later, Jonathan was discharged, a testament to the rapid response and skilled medical attention he received. While it was abundantly clear that Jim Rice's decisive action and undeniably saved the boy's life, the long-term prognosis remained uncertain. Doctors could not definitively guarantee that Jonathan would ever achieve a full recovery, leaving a question mark hanging over the miraculous rescue. In an article from 1982, Dave Stapleton said that his swing was affected. He said, all the times I've stood at the plate and lined fouls into the stands, I never gave it a second thought. Stapleton said, the ball just disappears up there into the stands. But this is awful. You know, you got to get up there for the next pitch and try to do your job. I mean, I'm a professional and I know that something like this isn't supposed to affect my swing or nothing like that. But, and he kind of just left it on a but because, and I feel that, like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
How do you continue to what you feel like is probably justification for something that it's clearly affecting you?
Yeah. And completely out of his control too. Like he had no
Mm-hmm.
control on where that ball was going to go or who
Yeah.
if it was going to hit somebody who it was going to hit.
Right.
Dave Stapleton and his wife Cheryl did visit Jonathan at the Children's Hospital, bringing him souvenirs.
Oh, that was nice.
Although Jonathan doesn't remember the 5 days he spent in the Children's Hospital, he clearly recalls the opportunity to throw out the first pitch on opening day in 1983 for the Red Sox. He participated in the ceremonial toss alongside Carl Yatzer. I'm going to butcher this last name. Apologies for any Red Sox fans. Carl Yastrzemski? Carl Yastrzemski's father, a retiring Boston legend. Again, so sorry. I can't say that name.
It's a long one.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a teacher, my favorite teacher from high school, and he's a huge Boston Red Sox fan, so if he ever listens to this, he's going to be like, so disappointed.
Disown you.
Yes. Shout out Mr. Meredith. Anyway, today, Jonathan continues to live a full and vibrant life, though a traumatic event of the foul ball remains a blank slate in his memory. Even though Jonathan does have a small scar just above his left eyebrow that he doesn't mind showing off to a curious questioner. He has made a remarkable and complete recovery, a feat he attributes entirely to the swift and selfless actions of Jim Rice. Jonathan was said, he's my hero. He said, he is a hero in my mind. He is somebody that saved my life, and I thank God for him being there.
I mean, that's one of those things, they tell you never meet your hero. But for this kid, thank God he met his hero.
Well, his hero is Dave Stapleton, the one that
Oh,
hit him in the
right. So I'm
head.
so sorry. I got it
Yeah,
confused.
no,
Um, he's
it's fine.
he's got a cool story out of it. Thank God he met his
Yes,
hero.
he did get to meet his hero and his
Yeah.
hero's wife.
Yeah.
Um, Jonathan now lives with his wife Kelly and their 3 beautiful children, Carter, Kayla, and Henry. Jim Rice, now a respected baseball analyst, reflected on the pivotal moment, offering a rare glimpse into the myths that propelled him to act. The image of carrying Jonathan, then a young child, immediately brought forth his own parental instincts. He said, I see me carrying my kid. I see me being a parent, being a father, being someone that is able to think about others. He explained, if this was my child, I would want somebody to react the same way. And when he said that, that made me think about, how do you think Tom Kane felt? Just being in the stands, seeing this player carry your son away after something so awful happened to him. You have another son right next to you, and you have no idea what's happening. I'm
I mean,
assuming that eventually he was led to the dugout too, but
oh yeah, I think he probably was following pretty closely behind, but at that in that moment, honestly, like later he's probably thankful that somebody was taking over because it you probably was in quite a bit of amount of shock
oh yeah. I
when
mean,
that
it would
happened.
have been chaos if they hadn't taken him to the dugout. Then could you imagine him trying to get out of that stadium
Oh gosh,
with two little kids? Like, because Jonathan was 4 and his brother was younger than him.
right?
So yeah, I know I
Yeah.
couldn't.
So yeah, thank God somebody was taking over.
The single act of heroism, while perhaps not as widely celebrated as his numerous on field achievements, undeniably solidified his legacy. Jim Rice's illustrious baseball career culminated in his long awaited induction into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame in 2009, a testament to his exceptional talent and dedication. This honor arrived in his final year of eligibility, a fitting recognition for a player who not only excelled on the field, but also demonstrated profound humanity when it mattered most. His heroism transcended the boundaries of the game, leaving an undeniable mark on Jonathan's life and a powerful reminder of the impact one individual can have.
That's a great story.
And I'm not going to lie, I know when I remember when I called you, I told you I was writing this, and I literally was crying the whole time I was writing it.
I had to fight it. I had to fight it in moments. I was like, "You will not cry over a baseball story."
But it's such a good story, and I love this picture of Jim and Jonathan when he was little. Like
Yeah,
one of that's my favorite.
yeah, that's pretty great.
Research, writing, and editing by Marie White. Theme music by Caleb Duggar. A special thanks to Mel Black. You can find all our sources in the show notes and photos on our Instagram, username same pod different cast. Follow, like, and subscribe for future content.